It's quite the find. Hello friends, and welcome back to Crow's Thrifty Finds. My name is Melanie. So for this week's video, we are going to talk about grail items that are, potentially hard to find, but still possible to find, and you never know when you might find one. And it's not impossible. I assure you, I have found some grails in my days of reselling. And some of you requested an update on BLIZZY, so she's right here. She's a little bigger than she was last time, and she just keeps growing. She doesn't want to stop, but she is doing really well, and she's super sweet, and I just love her. And another little update for those who are curious is I did start a new job. I did end up taking that job in a different department at the place that I was working at already. So I am back to doing counseling again. So I'm still doing reselling, of course. And what's good is my job is actually across the street from one of my favorite thrift stores, and I have an hour lunch break. So yay. Of course, I still got to let this little one out, but I do get a little bit of time to thrift. So that's definitely good. That will still help my reselling business, and I will keep making videos for you all as well. I'm finding ways to balance everything in my life, but so far I think I'm doing okay. So but yeah, let's get into this list. This list is going to be talking about different varieties of grail items. And we're going to start the list off with a VHS. Now, this is a Disney VHS. This is the movie Chicken Little. This is a grail find. It is very hard to find Chicken Little on VHS, but it is out there. Also, Disney Cars on VHS I've spoke about before. That's another grail. Chicken Little specifically sells, as you can see, for $370. So that is a great find, should you be so lucky to stumble upon it. Item number 2. This one sold for a ton of money. PlayStation 1 Resident Evil. Now, this has to be brand new or it's not worth nearly as much. So this one sold at auction for $8,100. Crazy. Oh my goodness. So that is a great find if you were lucky enough to get your hands on one. Item number 3. This is a vintage action figure. Some of you may remember the I think it was Disney film Dick Tracy. And there's a character in that movie called the Blank. And there are other Dick Tracy figures out there, but they are not as much of a grail as the Blank. The Blank must have been a more rare figure. And new, if you find him, he sells for $3,500. Can you believe that? Can you imagine you're just at the thrift store and you just discover this new in-box Dick Tracy action figure? My goodness. If you find it used, it's still worth a good amount of money, but definitely new is where it's at, and it is a grail for sure. Item number 4 is from Silverhawks. Silverhawks, there's action figures for that as well, and those action figures sell decently well also. I've sold them before. But this holy grail item is the Talking Command Center. And you can see it sold for $2,100. And this is one of those things, it could be easy to overlook because it looks kind of like just, your run-of-the-mill kid's toy. But this is not just your little talking toy. This is something that's very valuable and probably very rare. But again, you never know. Holy Grail item number 5. Furbies, I've mentioned before on my channel, as many of them are worth picking up, especially the vintage ones. But when it comes to the creme de la creme, the holy grail of Furbies, it is the Kid Cuisine Furby. These were rare. If you find one new in the box, you can get $1,700 for it. Holy potatoes. So that is a good amount of money. If you find one used, it is still worth picking up. So be on the lookout for Kid Cuisine Furby. Item number 6. I don't know if I've talked much about big mouth Billy Bass, but they are bolos. But when it comes to the grail of all bolos, there is a big mouth Billy Bass that sings. Well, I guess a lot of them sing, but it's more of an upright, I should say, big mouth Billy Bass. And it's, you know, kind of unique looking, looks a little different than the others, as you can see. And this guy sells for $1,025. So if you can find this variation of big mouth Billy Bass, you're in for a great payday. Item number 7. I am not even 100% sure what this is. It's some kind of play set, and it's vintage. It's Ideal Captain Action Dr. Evil Sanctuary play set. You can see some kind of recognizable characters on it. But yeah, this thing must have went with some action figures, would be my best guess. And it sold for $4,500. That is a huge chunk of change. So if you see this toy, that is definitely worth picking up. So be on the lookout for it. And this was, you know, just a used one. So you could imagine what a new one might go for. Probably twice that much at least. So be looking. Next grail. I have talked about Department 56 numerous times on my channel. Department 56 stuff is great to pick up. When it comes to the grails of Department 56, there's a couple, but I'm going to highlight this one as I've never mentioned it before on my channel. This is the Christmas Story leg lamp factory. How many of you have seen that movie? That movie, it runs a marathon on Christmas Day usually. So, you know, if you're channel surfing, you end up watching it a lot. I've been subjected to it many, many, many times. I do like it. It's a good movie, but the leg lamp was a popular part of that movie, and it's a popular collector's item, and anything to do with the leg lamp can be, you know, worth reselling, just depending. But especially this Department 56, this is the holy grail of leg lamp stuff and holy grail of Department 56. So this sells for $700. So should you see that, you want to pick it up. Next, we have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figure. There are many that people would consider grail Ninja Turtle figures, but this one I picked out. I've never mentioned this one before. This is a basketball Donatello. He's called the Slam Dunkin' Don, and the white jersey is what makes it more rare. That's what makes it the grail. And the white jersey Donatello sells for $560. Huge, 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 huge. Really good bolo. Next, we have a Starbucks mug. There are many good Starbucks mugs to get out there. I've sold one for $100. That was a North Dakota specific Starbucks ceramic tumbler. There's all kinds of really good Starbucks mugs to pick up, but many would consider the holy grail of Starbucks mugs to be a couple of different ones. There's a Minneapolis Starbucks mug, but there's also this Los Cabos Starbucks mug. And these sell in the $500 range. This one sold for $510. It's a more vintage mug. I believe there's other variations of it that are newer. But yeah, this one is the one to look out for. So keep your eyes peeled for the Los Cabos Starbucks mug. Next, I'm going to talk about a Barbie, which is interesting because I had focused on Barbies a couple of videos ago on things not to buy. However, I did say that there are some Barbies that are worth buying. When it comes to a holy grail of Barbies, there's different ones, but we're going to mention this one because I've never discussed this one before. This is the Hawaiian Superstar Barbie, and this is out of the box. So you can imagine what you could sell a new one for. But this one was sold for $513. That is a great payday on a Barbie doll. So you want to keep your eyes out to look for Hawaiian superstar Barbie. By the way, have you liked this video yet? I would advise doing so if you haven't. And the reason for that is the video is about to end. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. I hope you learned more about grails because, you know, they're out there. They may be rare, but they are out there. And if you can find them, you will make tons and tons and tons of money. So definitely be looking for these items I discussed today, and feel free to drop a comment with a grail item that you found, because there's plenty of other grail items that I did not mention in this list. This was just to get you all started. Maybe I'll do another one of these videos in the future about other types of grails, but we'll see. So signing off for now, this is Melanie with Crow's Thrifty Finds. I'll see you next week.